Welcome 3D students. In this video we're going to make a tongue for our monster. But before we do, I wanted to show you one thing. If you look at the texture for the eyes, you can see that the iris here on this eye is much larger than the iris on this eye. That's because these are two different size spheres. If you want them to be the same, then select whichever eye you want to change the size of the iris and go to your UVW map, expand it, get the scale tool, and then you can scale out the size or scale it down depending on which way you want to go, the size of the iris. That may look better, it may not, but I just wanted to show that to you. Okay, so let's make a tongue. I'm going to switch to my top viewport and I'm going to switch to wireframe. Now the tongue is simply going to be a box. So I'm going to get the create tab and let's create a box about like that. Actually, let's make it short like that. Let go and drag a little bit, it doesn't matter how much. And then switch to the modify tab and move the box inside where the mouth should be, sort of right in front of the teeth here. Then I'm going to switch to the left view and move it up. Now I'm having trouble seeing my monster because of the color of the wireframe. So I'm going to select him and change the default color to something I can see a little better, like so. So I want my tongue to stick out a little bit, so I'm going to move it over here. If you need to adjust the height of your box, then simply adjust it. I think I want to adjust it a little bit like that. Then I'm going to switch to the front view and make sure that it's in the center of the mouth. And then let's convert this box to an editable poly. And I want to switch to wireframe again this time. And let's make sure that the box is actually centered in the world, at least on the X direction. So I'm going to make sure I have the move tool selected and zero out the X position. And we need to split this box in half, so let's switch to edge mode. And then I want you to drag a selection box right down the center of the box here. Don't surround any one edge of it, just right down the center so that we select all the horizontal edges here. And then you're going to right click and select connect. And that puts an edge right in the center of the box. And now we can switch to polygon mode and delete half the box. And then we're going to put the symmetry modifier on this object. And if it disappears, check the flip box. Now let's switch to the top viewport. And we're going to use Swift Loop this time, so you can go back to the editable poly modifier and click edge mode, and then click show end result so you can see the other half of the tongue. And then select Swift Loop, and we're going to put an edge right there. And that allows us to take this corner now, select these vertices, and pull that back. And we can pull the middle out, sort of round off the tongue. And then we can switch to the perspective view. And we're going to let's switch to polygon mode and select these back two polygons of the tongue and delete them. And then switch to edge mode and select all the surrounding edges of the tongue. And then we're going to switch to side mode or left view, and we're going to hold down shift and extrude this out and move it down a little bit and rotate it just a bit, and then down again. And then I'm going to switch to vertex mode and grab just these vertices and pull them down. I'm also going to pull them up a little bit, because I think that the tongue is a little fatter at the back end of it. And maybe select these and pull them up like so. Just trying to position it. And while we're in this view, let's select Swift Loop and put an edge right there. And that will allow us, when we switch back to the front view, to sort of actually, let's do this. Sort of round it off in this view, like so. And then one final thing to make it look tongue-like, we can take these back edges here, or these back vertices, and push them straight down. And then take these two, the next two, and pull them up. Maybe pull that one down in the middle just a little bit. And then let's take these and we can round it off in the front, like so. And let's switch to default shading now and smooth it with NURBS. And there you go. You have a nice tongue. Now, if you want to stick out more, you can move it out a little bit more like so. Or you could also switch to vertex mode and grab all the front vertices and just pull it out more. Push it down, however you want to shape it. But all of that is up to you. And we can also take this part and push it down more if you want. Take the whole thing. It's just a matter of shaping it so it works. And there you go. That's how you create a tongue for your monster. You could also look at the top viewport and maybe make it a little wider at the back side. It looks a little too, I think it tapers a little bit more than I have it. And that's how you create a tongue for your monster. I think also that the body should be smoothed with 2 iterations. That makes him a lot smoother and nicer. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to create a multi-sub-object material for your monster and apply it to the body and the tongue and the mouth. And then after that, I think I will show you how to add more detail by creating hands and toes and claws. And I'll see you then.